Srila Prabhupada ki jai. People say, what's the biggest threat to life? That's the question, and many people try to answer this question mostly by raising this alarm for global warming, or maybe environmental crisis, or wildlife crisis, soil erosion, for example. All these are considered as threat to a planet. Of course, they are in one sense, because if our natural environment is not conserved, we don't preserve it, conserve it, it's a great threat to humanity. There are many scientists who have extrapolated due to present scenario what is happening on the earth, that within 40 to 50 years it will be very difficult for human life to sustain because of lack of food, lack of good environment, fresh air, fresh water, etc., etc. But according to Vedas, the biggest threat is not from outside. The biggest threat is from inside, because things change. I mean to say, even 50 years back, people talking about environmental crisis, global warming, and food crisis, but nothing happened. Down the time, 50 years ahead, it might happen that there will be environmental crisis, or it might not. Humanity, scientists might find a solution to environmental crisis, things might change, and we might become more advanced than before. So nobody knows what's going to happen. And even if something happens, again, after destruction there is creation. And similarly, sometimes human civilization, it goes down, sometimes goes up. There's a Chinese philosopher and scientist who has done a research on civilizations, and he said that after every 300 years, every civilization will fall, no matter how much technologically advanced it might be, or it will be. So that's his calculation. So things come, things go up, things rise, things go down, but the greatest threat is inside us. If our consciousness, it falls down, then no matter how much our civilization is on high rise and advanced, doesn't make any sense, because we'll not be happy and will not be peaceful. Rather, the more technological advancement, the more dangerous it might become, because if people's consciousness, it falls down, they will use technology for harm rather than benefit. So the greatest threat is inside. Einstein, 𝗙=mc², atom bomb, and what they did, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Einstein himself said, it was my biggest mistake in life. So the greatest threat is inside. Outside, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have technology, and if the consciousness of people, it is not at a base level, it is not at a raw level, it is not full of lust, anger, envy, greed, and people's consciousness is pure, then there will be harmony and in the planet. People will love each other, people will help each other, and more so people will be devoted to religion and spirituality. The entire planet becomes, so as we say, a Vaikuntha, a spiritual world, or as I say in Christianity, kingdom of God on the earth. Despite the fact we might have technology or we might not have technology, it doesn't make any difference. There's so many people in this world who are poor, but they are peaceful and happy, and they're good people. And there's so many people who are very rich, but they are evil and they are not good people, and they want to exploit others. So the biggest threat to life is our own consciousness, our own impure consciousness, and And on that very point, our Vedic rishis, they used to work. Their whole project was to improve our consciousness, make our consciousness pure. Externally, things might happen, might not happen. But by the way, if a consciousness is pure, if people are pure and they don't have lust, anger, greed, they will not exploit the planet. All problems solved. Now today we are talking about global warming, but why this global warming? Because there's a lot of pollution. Why there's pollution? Because people are running here and there from one country to another country, from one planet, from one state to another state. Why? Because of desires, unnecessary desires. People are satisfied, they'll stay at one place, they'll not be running here and there. They'll not vehicles, they will not need unnecessary to go here and there. So then there'll be no pollution, that's all. There'll be no global warming, there'll be no environmental crisis, food crisis. People will distribute food, people will share food with each other. So all these problems, all these threats today we are talking about, ultimately people are talking about it, but they find no solution. The solution lies inside, and that is why the threat lies inside. Thank you very much.